Hi, I'm Richard from Early Retirement Wanderlust, and it is the first Thursday of the month, so it is time to just slow down and think about all things well-being. And in this video, I want to go through this book, Oliver Burkeman's Meditations for Mortals, a book that may make you radically rethink your time, your productivity, and the efforts that you put into your life. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Richard and I am one half of Early Retirement Wanderlust. Myself and my wife Jackie run the channel and we discuss all things early retirement, travel, and on the first Thursday of every month we try to focus on well-being and we have a look at all things to do with living our lives a little bit more intentionally. So why this book, Meditations for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman? Well, if you're anything like me and sometimes you feel that life is just running a little bit too fast and you're finding it really difficult to catch up, Burkeman offers a slightly different approach in the fact it might not be us that have got things wrong, but it might be the system that has got things wrong for us. Now, we've come across Oliver Burkeman's work before on the channel in his seminal work, 4,000 Weeks, and Meditations for Mortals is a follow-up to that international bestseller. It's a really simple text that is broken down into 4 key sections that offers daily meditations that gives you the opportunity to just take stock of your life, think about some of the things that we perhaps take for granted and look for changes and improvements in the future. The first section of chapters is based around being finite and really accepting that whether we like it or not, our life is going to come to an end and we have that unpredictability of life. So what we can't do is we can't store things up for the future. We have to embrace the present moment because we don't know when our life is going to end, but what we are certain of is that at some point our life will end. Now, you could look at that as a really morbid standpoint, but what Burkeman emphasizes in all of his books is it's not looking at things from a morbid point of view, it's just being realistic, and there is one certainty in life, and that is at some point we're all going to die. The second theme is all about taking action, and to be really honest, at certain points in our life, we all need a kick up the backside. And one of the hardest things of making changes is actually getting started. And linked with that, the third point is to do with letting go. We can't actually act on everything that we have to do. We have to accept that in life, there are certain things that we will just never get round to. And there's some really valuable advice in the book on letting go and just loosening our grip a little bit on life. And then the final theme from the book is all to do with showing up. Whether we like it or not, we are never going to lead a perfect life. Things are always going to go wrong. So what we've got to do is we've got to find a way to navigate our way through life, and accepting that we're not going to have a perfect life is a really positive mindset in terms of making changes for the future. There are 5 big things from the book that I actually took away, and I just want to share some of them with you now and think about how I've perhaps implemented or how I've experienced those in my life. First one I've always struggled with in life is living imperfectly in a really intentional way. Long-time viewers of the channel will know that I am a perfectionist and I struggle with that, and Jackie really helps me with it, but it is something that I've never found easy to come to terms with. Ironically, by doing the YouTube channel, that's really helped me because really, when you launch a YouTube channel, you've just got to press record and you've just got to do it. I'm not strong enough yet to go back and look at some of our original videos because they were not perfect. This video is not perfect, but every time I press upload, I know that I'm living in an imperfect world. And that's fine, because Burkeman says if we spend all of our time waiting for the perfect moment to start, then we're going to spend all of our life just waiting, because life does not offer those opportunities and we've just got to get on, get the job done and start. The next big thing I took away from the book is that finitude is a feature of life. And if you're aware of the backstory of the channel, we had an absolutely horrific 2021 when I lost my dad and I lost my younger brother in quick succession. And that was probably the first time in my life that I started to contemplate finitude and think about my own existence and realize that life is short. And that's actually a blessing. And Burkeman talks about the fact that if life is short, then we have to prioritize what's important. we have to embrace the fact that we will never get everything done that we want to get done. So we have to be really good at focusing on what's important for us. And I think the book has really helped me do that. It's something that I was doing naturally from 2021, but it's just helped me smooth off the edges of that and actually give myself permission to say no a lot more times to things that really aren't that important, and actually focus on the things that are important to myself and to Jackie. And linked with that, the book has really helped me redefine productivity. And it's not necessarily about doing more, it's doing the things that are really important. I was a self-confessed workaholic when I was in work, and I was always looking for the next great miracle cure to be able to cope with the amount of work that I did. But one of the conflicts within the productivity world is that once you get better at doing something, more and more work fills the void. So you never actually get down that list. You just get through that list quicker. And it's that quality versus quantity debate. And I'm now no longer focusing on the amount of things that I'm doing, but actually focusing on the quality of the things that I'm doing. So by actually focusing and doing less things, but doing them better, I'm bringing more value to my life. The next biggie that I took away from the book is simply letting go of control. And if you are a regular viewer to the channel, you would know that it is one of my big weaknesses. I am a bit of a control freak, and I don't like it when I'm not in control. But Burkeman comes up with a wonderful metaphor to do with life being like a river, and that we have no control over that river. We are like a kayaker in the river. So we can paddle, we can change direction, but we can't really go in the opposite direction. Life is constantly moving forwards, that river is constantly flowing downstream, and we, whether we like it or not, are going with that flow. We do get the option of being able to slightly adjust our track as we move down the river, but what we definitely can't do is control where it's taking us. And by accepting that metaphor of life is like a river, it's given me permission to just loosen my grip, get a little bit better at paddling and changing direction, but responding to the challenges that life throws at me. And one of the things that I absolutely loved from the book was the acceptance that floundering is a natural part of life, and that we're all floundering through life. No one's got the answer, and we're all suffering from imposter syndrome. Have you ever had that feeling that everyone else has got life nailed, and yet we're the only ones that can't get it together? Well, the message in the book is that everyone's in that position, whether they are the biggest business leaders, the world leaders, political leaders. Everyone has that imposter syndrome of just floundering along. And I love the idea that everyone on this earth is just floundering along, trying to make their way down that river the best way they possibly can. And the last big takeaway from the book will come as no surprise that I love it. It's to do with scruffy hospitality. And how many times in our life have we tried to make sure that we portray a perfect life to other people? Whereas actually, if we are a little bit more authentic and allow people into our authentic life, then we're more likely to foster really meaningful relationships. When we first retired, we had lots of friends come up to the house and stay because we'd relocated and we wanted to show off our lovely renovated cottage. But we made a purposeful decision to just live our normal lives when people came to visit. So it's not about putting fancy meals on, putting airs and graces on. It's about inviting people into your life in a really almost scruffy but hospitable way, and allowing them to see a really authentic segment of your life, because we've got nothing to hide. And as soon as you free yourself up from that, it reduces a massive amount of anxiety, it reduces a massive amount of effort, and people see you for genuinely who you are. And if we can share that honesty with each other, then we're going to make the world a much happier place. There are 3 particular metaphors that have resonated with me since reading the book. The first one I've touched on already, that life is like a river, so we can't just blast through it like a super yacht. Life, we are bobbing along in our little kayak, and we have a little bit of control about where life takes us, but we can't go against the stream. We just need to go with the flow. The second one I absolutely love, which is a daily-ish mindset, and it really does contradict with my natural way of doing things. I love tick lists, I love things to do and checking them off, whereas actually when we're thinking about daily habits, Burkeman encourages us to think about a daily-ish habits. So we should try and do good things every single day, but we shouldn't necessarily beat ourselves up if we don't do them on consecutive days. I think the key here is making sure that you don't drop a habit for more than 2 times. And one of the examples of this is he cites Benedictine monks. Now, you would think monks would live a really rigid and structured lifestyle, but the leaders of the Benedictine monks said that there needs to be moderation in moderation, and we cannot hope to live a life of strict rules and regimes, and actually we just need to be a little bit lighter on ourselves. And then the final one is actually to do with books. And I am a terrible one for accumulating a books to read list, and I'm forever beating myself up because as quickly as I tick books off on the top of the list, I gain more books at the bottom of the list. And I've got to just stop looking at it as a barrel of books that I'm trying to deal with, but another river metaphor of a river of books. And in life there is going to be a constant flow of books passing me by, and every so often I just need to dip in and be happy with what I find, rather than just trying to accumulate a massive barrel of books that actually I'll probably never get round to reading, and actually I'll end up beating myself up over the fact that I've not got round to reading all the books I want to. So that's it for this Wellbeing Thursday, and reading this book by Oliver Burkeman has never really felt more timely for me. We are living in a world that is constantly competing for our attention and is constantly providing us with too much information, and accepting that we can't deal with all of that information and that we have to be selective about what we do and be mindful about what we do is a real permission giver, really, from Meditations for Mortals. Now, if any of this has resonated with you, or you think that anyone would benefit from hearing about Meditations for Mortals, then please share that with them. And also, if you've got any thoughts having read 4,000 Weeks or Meditations for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman, please pop them in the comments below, because I love to read and catch up and see different people's perspectives on 2 really great books. I'd really recommend the book to you. I think it's a really nice, easy read, and I think it's really thought-provoking in terms of how we choose to lead our lives. But until next time, we'll see you later. So, bye-bye.